Greetings everyone, Sol here from Faction Warfare, and this video will explain the major mechanics of Faction Warfare, what the rules are and how it's meant to work. Grids that can build other grids are known as construction yards. There are two types of grids, ships and stations. Construction yards can be mobile or stationary and do not necessarily need any sort of assembling equipment. They must simply be able to encompass the ship they're building, like the shipyards in Star Trek. In the case of stations, however, the construction yard must be bigger than the station. As mentioned in the previous video, we save and back up the various maps of Faction Warfare. Live scenarios happen on these maps, each corresponding to its own grid in the sector map, hence combining the 4X strategy mechanics with the gameplay of Space Engineers. There are three phases to civil scenarios. Phase 1. Players place their ships in the centre of the map in preparation. Phase 2. Against a 1 hour time limit, players then do what they came to do, mining or similar. Phase 3. All grids will be turned off and the admin on server will check your inventory and transfer the correct amount of units depending on what has been done. This is similar for military scenarios. Phase 1. Players can place their ships in respective areas depending on where they jump in. Phase 2. Against a 1 hour time limit, players can enter into combat against one another. And Phase 3, all grids will be turned off and the admin on server will determine who won by checking the grids to see how much damage was inflicted by either side. It is possible to use power stations to generate units, with 1 megawatt being worth 10 units every rotation. However, only a maximum of 10 power generating blocks are allowed on a Class 1 grid, 20 on a Class 2 grid, 30 on a Class 3 grid, etc, until you get to 100 on a Class 10 grid. To register something as a power generating grid, there is a component of the construction form allowing you to do so. Answer the questions there and it will be sorted out. The tourism board is a minor component of Faction Warfare that gets updated every 10 rotations, allowing people to make money by sending ships to that location. The ships being sent there, however, must be civilian in nature, unarmed. Once a ship has reached that location, it will no longer be available on the tourism board, and the organisation that sent the ship will gain the units from that location. The mission board is a component of Faction Warfare, allowing factions to put up their own missions. This lets independent players, or even factions, complete missions for each other. People can put missions on the mission board by submitting their respective form. It's then in the hands of the mission giver to deal with those who accept the missions, transferring the promised units once the mission is complete. Once the mission has been completed, or the mission is to be removed for whatever reason, the mission giver must DM FW staff and it will be removed promptly. I'm honestly at a loss for words in this particular part of the video. All it is a tutorial video. I've tried to keep it as concise as possible so you don't have to spend 1,000,001 years on it. Yes, that could potentially be its downfall, but at the same time a longer video could also have its downfalls in it simply being too long. If there's anything I've missed out, please do tell me. If there's anything you find is wrong with it, again do tell me. I'm open to criticism, because I'd like this game mode to be as fun as it can be for everyone. So thank you everyone for watching, I guess. 07 to you, and see you in the field. Adios.